are ya? Welcome to the channel. Painting this, so I have some splaining to do. We'll have a lot of black, the walnut. So if you don't know what Mosaic Madness is, let me tell you. Basically in March, we launch new items, put them in a bracket just like March Madness, and have you guys vote on them as to which are your favorite. I love Mosaic Madness because it's a time where I get to play, I get to create new items for you guys, and you guys get to vote on your favorites. So it's like, how fun is that? So basically, I'm thinking like second week of March is when the bracket and voting will happen, and then the launch will be March 30th is the official launch date for Mosaic Madness. So I'm doing 24 new pieces for 2024. See what I did there? So it's gonna be a mix of mosaics, painting, wood burning. And again, this is my time to play, so it's really cool for me to get to try out new styles, try out new techniques, and just see what you guys resonate with and what you like. And it's so funny because sometimes I'll create something and feel like it's a winner and feel like it's gonna make it to the top, and then you guys voted out the first round. So it shows how much I know, which apparently sometimes is like nothing at all. But this is the first official video of our Mosaic Madness series. So I am going to take you guys through some of the designing, probably some shop time. Honestly, the shop needs clean today, like real bad. So I need to just start fresh in the shop before I get down to like the nitty-gritty of building anything. So yeah. If you're here, thank you. I'm so excited to take you along this building journey. This year is going to be all about building more one-of-a-kind pieces, and Mosaic Madness is like a great start to that. So thank you. Thanks for joining me, and let's jump into it. So we are officially in the shop for Mosaic Madness. I'm sure I put the intro in front of this. I filmed that a couple days ago just to kind of talk through Mosaic Madness while I was sitting down and chatting with you guys. But we're officially in the shop starting it, which I'm so excited for. I've kind of set out a goal for what I want to complete each week. And since this is the first week, I have a few started, so I just want to wrap those up. So I would like to get 3 done in the next couple days, and I'm going to take you guys along with that journey. So if you saw my last video, and I'll drop it down below if you haven't, you probably saw me painting this. So I would burn this a while ago. I had the backer already cut, but this is gonna go inside of a mosaic. I'm thinking like a rectangle, so framed out, and a lot of lighter wood, lighter pieces around it. I do have a lot of like white oak, some like lighter pine pieces already cut down, so that's what I'm thinking for this. And then, hold on one second, let me grab it. She's a tad dusty. I need to take the air hose to it. But this wood burn piece, so if you followed since Vlogmas, you saw that I started this piece, but I did not get to finish it. So in the opposite of that piece, this is going to be like all dark walnut, walnut frame, walnut mosaic, walnut frame. So very dark versus very light, and that's actually going to be the theme for this Mosaic Madness. Last year for Mosaic Madness, I like really did not have a theme. I had a color scheme that I stuck to. It was very neutral, which is my style. Very neutral, a little more adventurous with the mosaics themselves, so they're a little more geometric. I don't want to say not as basic, but like, yeah, they were not as basic. They were harder cuts, harder angles, that kind of thing. So this year, Mosaic Madness is going to look very, very different. I want them having a theme. 2, I'm incorporating my art with the mosaics, which I've done it in a few pieces, but I've never released like a full collection with that. And I don't think every single piece will have an art piece in it. I just want to clarify that now, but a lot of them will. And they're going to be different styles of art. So these are the wood burnings, obviously, which I normally have like inside in some sort of shape or fashion. There's going to be paintings, there's going to be scroll saw art, so more like 3D hand shaped, that kind of thing. But I'm excited to play. Mosaic Madness is always my time to just play with different mediums, different styles, and honestly this is going to be fun. It's always a lot of pressure because I like to get it done early, one, so I can start the marketing, two, I need all the pieces done in order for voting to start because I have to lay out the bracket. I'm trying to decide. So last year we had a customer say that we should make the bracket and then like send it out, or like give you guys the opportunity to like make your own bracket, just basically like March Madness, and then you would get points for like how many you get correct or like how far yours advances. That would be a lot for me to keep up with, but I kind of really like that idea, so we might do that. I'm not 100% sure. I need to like figure that out of like how that process would even work, but I thought it was a fun idea. So if I get everything done and get kind of like the marketing underway, I would like to put that out to you guys so you have a chance to vote, a chance to pick your favorites and what you think will advance, and then see what you actually vote on. So after cutting down some slimmer walnut pieces, I'm going to attach the rose diamond to, I think it's going to be like a 12 by 20, so a rectangle around it, and just so this is attached, that way I can start framing it up for this week. And then the third one, I'm either gonna start an arch painting, which I took upstairs to start painting. I have, well, you saw, if you saw my last video, the craft room is still chaotic, so Jake is helping me drop down my desk tonight so that way I can start putting things back in order. I have to like learn to be okay with like organizing, that like sometimes it's worse before it gets better, and it's definitely worse right now because I'm like reorganizing stuff down here and taking my painting stuff up there, because it seems that I do a lot of my painting up here, and then downstairs is where I do like all the woodworking, dusty stuff. I try and keep them separate. My spray painting is still down here, but like my hand painting stuff all happens upstairs. And assembling happens upstairs. So I'm trying to give myself like a table or space to just like assemble products also. I'm also ironically, well, it's not ironic, but the most girly thing I could probably be listening to while doing woodworking, I'm listening to Britney Spears' autobiography. So yeah. As you saw, I have a lot of walnut, and I have like a whole bucket full of scraps that were sitting like beside my scroll saw. As I was cleaning the shop to just kind of like reset for the year, I saw how much I really had, so I really want to use a lot of walnut in this collection, and it will fit with the dark and light vibe. So my light will have, like I said, a lot of the white oak pine. My dark will have a lot of black, the walnut, maybe some navy, I'm thinking. I'm gonna implement some colors. As you know, my vibe is pretty neutral for the most part, but I do like pops of color, whether it's gonna be on the dark or light side. We'll decide what colors those are. And I really need help with the name for this collection. So I keep saying like day and night, dark and light. The idea and premise is like, just kind of like two different sides, the dichotomy of like things we can feel, people we can be. I love my house looking light and bright, but I also love just like moody nights, rainy days. Like, I think you can enjoy both, and that's kind of what I wanted to do with this collection. I didn't want to go one way or the other. I really wanted to have both. And with the bracket, I'm gonna separate like a dark side and a light side. So if you can help me come up with a name, I would be so grateful, because everything I've looked at just doesn't feel right. So I really need a name for this, but we have some time to figure that out. Right now it's just all about building. But yeah, I'm really thankful for just keeping these scraps, because now I can use them in different ways and use up the scraps that I have. I'm gonna continue cutting this walnut piece for now. I'll probably try and get it cut tonight and maybe start sanding it. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know we actually have a router table that Jake's dad gave him like a long time ago. I've never personally used it. Jake doesn't like using it. So I think I'm a little bit fearful of like using a router to bevel these. So I honestly hand sand and bevel everything. So I'll probably try and get it cut and sanded tonight to get the roundovers. And then tomorrow I'll probably glue and attach everything, oil it down, so that one will be done. I love also using hardwoods because I feel like it's easier to just cut and oil than like cut, paint, probably paint again because you have to do multiple layers. I don't paint the wood and then cut it because I don't like seeing the naked edges. So I go in and paint every single individual piece, which I know takes more time, but I personally like the quality of that better. But painting does take a lot more time. So I kind of like using the hardwoods. One, I love the grain of them, but then it also is just a little bit quicker, I think. Good morning. So it is the next day. I did not finish that walnut mosaic that I was showing you guys. When Jake got home, we had a lot of stuff to do around the house, honestly. So I basically left the shop once he got home and didn't work on anything, not even editing videos, which I wanted to work on last night. Today we're jumping right back in where I left you guys off yesterday. I didn't get to attach the rose diamond yet either. I accidentally sprayed it with gloss coat instead of like a matte clear coat. So that's gonna be the first thing we attach. So hopefully that will be attached by the end of the day. And then I can start at least that mosaic today, maybe later today. And then we're definitely gonna finish the walnut one today. My goal was to have 3 like done by the weekend. I'm not sure what the third one will be yet. I have 2 options. So I have one, I kind of have the backer already done. It's going to be like a matte black backer with, which I do need to spray matte clear coat on today. So I'll do that, thinking out loud while I'm talking to you. So it's an all matte black backer. It's going to have like carved walnut flowers on it. And last night I was thinking about how I could make kind of like a double frame or a decorative frame on it. I'm not sure how I want to do the frame yet, but I think it's gonna look really cool. Very simple, like 2-tone colors is kind of what I'm imagining will be on the dark side, obviously. I want to kind of lay out each side as I'm like thinking about them so that I'm not making, say, like too much of the light side, not enough of the dark side, since that's kind of the vibe I'm going for. I guess that's not a bad thing. I could always list them later, but I want to make sure I'm like evening them out as they're kind of popping into my head. So right now, obviously the walnut's going to be on the dark side. The rose is going to be on the light side. So then I'll have like a 2-1 ratio if I do that all black one this weekend, which I think I could get done this weekend if I really focused on it. I am going away to a friend's house Friday night, but I'll be back Saturday morning. So I'm planning on working Saturday and Sunday. I honestly work like every day. I mean, I wouldn't say like I always work like an 8-hour shift every day, but like I always am doing something, I feel like, for the business. It never stops, which is fine because I love it. But yeah, I'm thinking that's going to be my plan for the rest of the week. So we'll see how that goes. But let's jump into making now. Literally jumping right back into where we left off yesterday. Alright, so I am loving the texture of the different heights that is being created with walnut. I think if you're using a lot of the same wood, it's important to use different widths and different heights just to play around with the composition a little bit more. And one of my rules of thumb is I don't ever really go higher than the middle frame. So I like, and I'll show you here in a second, I like that the pieces that I just cut like are in line with the middle frame because it creates some like extra depth. But I'll show you what I'm talking about here in a second. See how these pieces are basically just like in line with the same height as the middle frame? I love that. I've never done that before, but I really like how it sinks these other pieces in. And like I said, I'm gonna have to hand sand all of these. I think I'm gonna give these a pretty hard round off just to separate them from the frame, but I like that they're the same height. Alright, so we have the pieces that I just cut oiled and attached, looking nice and dark. Ugh, I just love walnut. It's so pretty. Okay, so now that we got that cut, I need to figure out what I'm doing for the rest of the sides. Again, I don't really have a plan sometimes when I make mosaics. Sometimes I just cut and see where it takes me, and I think that's what's going to happen with this one. I do have a bunch of different wisps of walnut cut down, so I'm just going to play with the wisps and see what makes sense. Hello! So I have some splaining to do. Really, it's just because this is like a week after I last filmed the clips of the mosaic building. I just finished the first piece, well, finished attaching the pieces for the first piece of Mosaic Madness, yay! But now I'm starting to feel behind, but the reason is we've started moving things in the shop. So completely cleaned out all the bottom of the tables, vacuumed and like wiped down things. I have to go through all these paints and stains. Well, I have went through them and see like what I want to keep, what I need to discard. We moved the scroll saw table, and now we have a giant space here, which is going to be for my new laser. I cannot wait to talk more about it with you guys for this year. I'm definitely going to do some videos on it. But my Glowforge, my small Glowforge is coming down here, and then my new Mira 9 by Eon Lasers is coming in like a month. We also have plumbers coming, so I don't know what Jake is doing up there. But anyway, so I wanted to give you guys an update on where the mosaic sits. So I just finished attaching the last pieces of the first mosaic. Just oiled her up. Let me see if I can hold her a little bit better for you. Okay, there you go. So all walnut. This is going to be on the dark side of the bracket, but I think she turned out amazing. I really love the wood burn piece in it. I'll take some close-ups, that way you guys can see it a little more close up. But I apologize for not finishing the build with you, but we're going to move on to the white rose now. Watched my Mosaic Madness video from last year, I get a bunch done, cut them all, like all the excess off on the table saw after I have probably like 5 to 6 done, just so I can batch them out a little bit more. So that is going to sit to the side. I have the design for the white diamond, so I'm going to show it to you guys. It's not finished yet, but I probably will be able to finish it in the next couple days. But this video is also super long, at least for my type of videos. So I'm going to end the video here, but thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you continue to watch the Mosaic Madness series that I have coming out. But I'll show you the diamond and you'll see it finished in the next video. Reverse, 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 reverse. What?